Have you ever looked at someone you've known for years and thought, when did we become strangers? It's not like you had an argument where someone said something that was unforgivable. You just noticed a shift where it felt like you both were going down different paths. The conversations don't really hit the same anymore. And even when you do hang out, it doesn't really feel natural. You start to notice that you aren't into the same hobbies anymore, slowly building a life that doesn't include them as much as it used to. And it starts to feel strange because you still want to label this person as your best friend. Think about your closest friend from your years in high school, college, maybe even middle school. At one point, you probably couldn't even imagine going a week without talking to them. You knew everything about each other. You would call this person if something happened that were either good or bad. You could probably call them at 2 o'clock in the morning and they still answer. But then life started happening. You graduated and got that job that you've always wanted, maybe moved to a new city and got into a relationship. The priorities that you have now aren't even close to the ones you had when you and your friends first met. And suddenly you're not talking every day anymore and you don't think much of it at first. You tell yourself that you're both just busy, but eventually you realize something. You're not just busy, you're becoming two different people. And that's what makes outgrowing someone feel so uncomfortable, because when a friendship ends badly, at least you know what happened. There's a reason. You can point to an argument and say that's where everything changed. But when you outgrow someone, there's usually no moment like that. It just happens. One day you realize you haven't talked to them in 3 months. Next thing you know, it's been a year. And somehow the person who used to know everything about your life doesn't know what's happening anymore. Maybe they're happy going out every weekend while you become focused on your career. Maybe you're trying to save money while they're spending everything they make. Maybe you want to travel while they're perfectly comfortable staying home. Maybe you're thinking about marriage and a family while they're still figuring themselves out. Neither person is wrong in the situation. You're just moving in different directions. And sometimes that's enough to create distance. The hardest part might actually be nostalgia, because when you miss an old friend, you aren't always missing the person who they are today. Sometimes you're missing who they were when you first met them. You miss being 18 and staying up all night doing absolutely nothing. You miss laughing at jokes that wouldn't even be funny today. You miss the version of yourself that existed during that period of your life. And that's why you can miss someone without actually wanting them back in your life. You're not necessarily missing their relationship. You're missing a version of someone that doesn't exist anymore. And that's a difficult thing to accept, because we grow up believing that real friendships are supposed to last forever. But I don't think every friendship is supposed to last forever. Some people are there to teach you something that will stick with you for the rest of your life. Some are there to help you through a difficult period. Some are there because you happen to sit next to them in class. And some people become lifelong friends, but not everyone has to. A friendship ending doesn't automatically make that friendship meaningless. A character can disappear halfway through the movie and still be incredibly important to the plot. Their role doesn't become meaningless just because they weren't there for the ending. And maybe friendships are the same way. Maybe someone can be one of the most important people in your life for 5 years and then become someone you occasionally think about. That doesn't erase the 5 years or the memories. It doesn't mean you made a mistake by caring about them. It just means life kept moving on, and that's okay. One of the most uncomfortable things about growing up is you start to realize that not everything is meant to stay the same. People change, a job can change, relationships change, and you change. The goal isn't necessarily to hold on to everything exactly as it was. It's to appreciate what something meant to you while accepting that it might not fit your life anymore. And that doesn't mean you have to completely cut someone off. Sometimes the healthiest thing we can do is to simply let the friendship become what it naturally becomes. Maybe you talk every day, once a year, or see each other randomly and catch up for an hour. Maybe you become strangers and don't see each other anymore. But if you constantly have to force a relationship to feel like it used to, maybe that's the sign. Because sometimes we're not holding onto a person, we're holding onto a memory. We're trying to recreate a version of our life that doesn't exist anymore. Maybe the friendship did exactly what it was supposed to. It gave you memories and it helped shape you. So if there's someone in your life right now that you feel like you're outgrowing, don't immediately assume something went wrong. Maybe you're just becoming someone new, and maybe they're doing the same, because sometimes people aren't meant to walk beside you forever. Sometimes they're just meant to walk beside you at that moment.